We are moving on to a Let's Play and Chat segment, and we've got a cool game that's been out for a little while. It's called Faye. This was one of the EA originals that Electronic Arts actually surprised the world with at their EA Play event in 2017. It came out a couple of months ago. This is the first time that I'm getting to it, though. I'm playing it on the Nintendo Switch. It's out there for all the consoles and probably the PC as well. And it was created in Sweden, I believe. It's by a company called Zoink, and Zoink was recently partnered up with Image and Form, who does the SteamWorld games, and so they're all part of a bigger group now, which is really cool. I don't know anything about this game. I actually thought it was a 2D game because I forgot what EA showed us, but it is not. It is a 3D game. I've just started it up. My buddy Blake Siefken is here. Hello, Blake.
Hi.
Remember, you can ask us questions and chat along with us. Give us any comments, any feedback. If you've played this game and you want to help me play it better, you let me know. But we're here to play it and check it out and do a little bit of chatting. So all I know is that there was this deer that took off into the forest, and that's what I'm looking for right now. So let's go and see where they are.
Oh, we should say, did we mention Elias's role in Assassin's
Creed?
Oh,
we did not. Elias,
when we did the interview, they hadn't announced who his character was.
Right.
But now we can announce that it's
Leonidas.
Leonidas.
For Sparta!
Appropriately Greek Leonidas, for once.
Yeah. Not Scottish. Gerard Butler actually could be, he could probably play Sean Connery.
Oh my god, what did I just press? Okay,
there it is. In some kind of a biopic or something like that.
Question from Paul Casillo. Did you ever think that games as a spectator sport would ever become the thing that it is?
I believe that people would want to watch people play games for sure for a long time. I think if you watch the very first season of Electric Playground, we had Steven Spielberg on the show talking about GameWorks and what they launched there, and we interviewed one of the managers, I think, of the Seattle GameWorks. I think that's where it launched, and he talked about there being an appetite for watching the best players play. And even if you look at what Walter Day and Twin Galaxies were doing way back when, there has always been this appetite for comparing your skills against another person's, and then broadcasting it to some degree. Even in the old magazines, they used to do that. You could take a picture of your TV and send it in, and they would publish it. So I think there's always been this curiosity, but did I think it was going to grow to this scale?
I remember seeing old EP interviews where you guys, maybe I think it might have been one with Julie, where she was like asking every other developer about that. I think it was at E3 and one of the E3s.
Mm-hmm.
And she was asking, like, oh, do you think esports is ever going to take off?
Right.
So, yeah, this has been a question that people have been sort of wondering about for a while now.
It's a bit of a tricky question for me because although I can appreciate it, I'm not really a consumer of esports information. Like, I don't really have a lot of time for it. I dig it when we check it out, like when we've gone to the Call of Duty events and we did that World of Tanks event. I just don't have time. If I'm going to be a content reviewer, I just don't have time to spend hours watching that stuff, So I just don't really do it. Okay, so I'm singing at this machine here.
Let me know if the game is too loud, because I think this is a quiet game that'll have loud parts.
Right,
so if the loud parts are too loud, let me know.
Okay, so this is kind of reminding me of Flower a little bit.
It's like a 3D Ori.
A little bit, but mixed with
like
Journey and the Flower game. Pretty. Built on Unity. Seems like an appropriate title for the Switch.
Looks very whimsical.
Blake, you're supposed to say every game.
Every game is appropriate for the Switch.
There we go. Okay.
Somebody had a question about Octopath Traveler. Who's our favorite character in Octopath Traveler?
I just got the game yesterday.
So I had a thing, we were talking about this earlier, and you haven't played it yet.
No.
And
I was playing Moonlighter.
I played the demo and I fell asleep.
Not your thing.
So we're not the people to ask about characters in that game.
I just watched Johnny Millennium's review on Happy Console Gamer, and he loved the game, but said it was a very hardcore RPG.
Yes.
And you have to really level up and do the grind before you start going off and doing the tougher challenges. But he did appreciate it.
The reason I played the demo, because I'm not an RPG guy, but the only reason I was even remotely interested in it is because the art style is really cool for that game.
Oh yeah, I can't.
It's a beautiful looking game.
I have it on this Switch, but I think I'm going to check it out alone before I do any streaming. I want to not look like I'm totally lost and dead right away. Okay, so this thing, I don't know what it's doing. Like, I'm singing to it. I'm holding the R button down. Now what?
You're like passing through it. You have to jump on and make it not transparent so you can land on it, maybe?
I don't know. It seems... Okay.
Someone in the chat, let us know what to do.
Is there another...
Adrian Leon, I haven't played Battlegrounds on the Xbox. Vic, have you?
Yep.
How does it run on the Xbox compared to the PC version?
It's definitely not as good, but it's still very playable.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't get that mouse and keyboard.
No. How did we play it the first time?
Didn't you do both? I think you were playing it. I seem to recall you were having problems with the controller.
Yeah.
So you kept switching back and forth between mouse and keyboard and
controller. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Man, it's been a long time since we've streamed a PC game. We got to hook up my PC and do that again. Okay. So that's Faye. Good night, everybody. No, I don't know what to do.
There's no like hint thing.
It's just got a little icon. Like I'm supposed to know what the icon means.
Are you listening to the game? Is it telling you?
No.
To do anything?
He's just singing to himself.
Maybe there's something else you have to do first?
Let me see what the controls say. Motion. Oh, wait a sec. Let me see if I can do this. Continue. So maybe I have to do this.
Clayton Blair, what game are we playing? This is Faye.
Faye.
It was just announced at E3.
No, E3 2017.
And
it came out this spring.
I thought it was announced at E3. Oh.
No. The other one, the SOS, Save Our Ships or something, Save Our Souls. Oh, come on.
Tiago Santos, I've never played Warframe. I don't think you have either, Vic.
I played it ages ago, and it was pretty cool, but it was clunky. But I think they've improved it a lot.
That's from the same people who made that Star Trek game in 2013, right?
Digital Extremes, yeah.
Yeah, that game sucked.
Well, they made really good games.
I got that game because I was looking forward to it.
Well, Star Trek, that was made under duress for them, and Warframe was a direct result of that experience. They got fed up doing work-for-hire projects for publishers.
That Star Trek game could have been good if it was lacking a lot of polish in the controls.
But it was beautiful, right?
It was a beautiful game.
Yeah,
Digital Extremes. It was cool to be Kirk and Spock running around on the Enterprise.
Yeah, Digital Extremes is a good developer. They know what they're doing. They did the Darkness 2. They've done some solid games, but Warframe is an industry unto itself. I don't know what I'm doing, guys.
Somebody in the chat, let us know what to do.
I am fully... This is when I start sweating and getting all hot. I'm like, what do I do? Sing gently with animals. Okay, that's all you had to tell me.
F-Boys.
Oh, maybe 99. I have to go. Yeah, right. I had to backtrack and find something else to do here.
F-Boys 99. Vic had yam fries at EXP. Yeah, we had it at EXP.
Oh yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I had yam fries too while you guys were on.
Now
camera.
I want yam fries, dude. Why'd you say that? Now
it was nice because I was sitting there doing the computer, switching back and forth, and I could just have them bring food to me on a steady stream.
Yeah, now I want one of those veggie burgers that they made. They were awesome.
Their nachos are really good.
Yeah. Oh, rest in peace, EXP.
I love the because other places do nachos like that too. Like the pub nachos are always really good.
Yeah. Okay, dude, you're making me very hungry. And it is Friday. It's like the perfect time to go for
this character you're playing as kind of reminds me of a Bloopy in Zelda.
A Bloopy.
Did you ever find a Bloopy in Breath of the Wild, Vic? When you're running around, they're little blue rabbits that you'll see out of the corner of your eye and they'll hide from you. But if you catch them or hit them with an arrow, they give you a bunch of money.
Yeah.
That's what these things, the thing you're playing as, looks like.
Hold on, I'm singing to this guy.
What are you singing?
So I'm using the controller.
You're not singing any licensed music, are you?
No.
Okay, because we don't want to give YouTube's copyright robots anything to flag.
Okay. I think I'm trying to...
You're not like singing a
not go
Beyonce
red
song or something?
No.
Okay, good.
There, okay.
Jordan Cunningham, comment, Octopath Traveler looks amazing.
So I got him as my buddy. Now, I go back to this thing, I think. Is that what I'm doing?
Is he following you?
I think he is, right?
I'll look behind you.
No. Nope.
Jordan Cunningham has a comment. Octopath Traveler looks amazing. Something for old school Final Fantasy fans because the new Final Fantasy is going.
Oh, cool! I can jump on it. Jump on him. Because the new Final Fantasy.
The new Final Fantasy is going in a different direction. So Octopath Traveler is like the old school Final Fantasy.
Gotcha.
It's kind of surprising they didn't call it a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
They slapped that onto everything. So.
Well, it's got a totally different vibe with the eight characters at the same time. Yeah. Kind of thing.
But, I mean, that would have been the gimmick, right? It's a Final Fantasy game with 8 characters.
Okay, what am I supposed
trying
to
to
do?
ride the thing?
Honestly, I'm already stumped. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You gotta ride
there.
the thing? Do you sing to it to tame it and then you ride it?
I'm singing to it.
Try singing again? Are you pressing ZL?
Yeah. ZR. I don't know what I'm doing with you. Okay, there we go. Now, I can ride this thing. Okay, I get it. Okay. It's kind of got a mind of its own, though, it feels like. Okay, wait. Oh, I jumped off of them. Of course.
Now it's up on top of the tree.
Okay, here we go. I see. Okay, so I think when we go back to
Is the game really loud, guys? I think people are saying.
Oh, it's too loud?
Don't do it there, Vic. I'll do it here.
Okay. Okay.
Keep playing so I can hear it.
Okay.
I think it's when the thing cries.
Okay, here we go. This is alive now, and now I'm up. Okay, so I had to go get the deer to get me across here.
I think when the thing yells at you, it's really loud.
Okay.
Games like this are hard, guys, to do the audio, because they're really quiet until they're not.
Okay, so it sings and it activates the plant. Okay. All right. Okay. It's one of these explore the environments and try to figure it out. I like the geometric kind of shapes to everything. It's cool. It kind of reminds me of the worlds of No Man's Sky a little bit, and the colors of No Man's Sky.
If No Man's Sky had things in them.
Oh.
Burn.
Okay. All right. So what do we do? Where are we going now?
Uncle Jay.
Kind of like you're the wolf in Zelda all the time, and you can go and sing to things and activate them. I get it.
Are they naturally afraid of you?
Oh, I'm swimming. Can I swim?
I guess so.
Yeah, the water's cool.
All right, so are you like a silicon-based life form because everything's crystallized?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't understand these characters. They just sing to each other. Okay, I don't know what this is. Oh, there's a little crystal in the middle there, speaking of. Let's see what that gets me. Boom. Got a crystal. Life is good. Okay, so it opens that up. Those guys are going to high-five.
Those vines came out.
The vines are going to high-five each other. What is this little... There's a little rat creature here. Watch out, little rat creature. It's all songs and icons to kind of give you an idea of what to do next, which is a little hard to decipher.
It's weird, too, because the color palette and the geometric shapes make it harder to discern like where the points of interest are.
Right.
That you're supposed to go to.
Like way in the background? You're right. And it's very cluttered.
Like normally if you have a diamond-shaped thing,
right,
you would know, okay, I need to go to that because it's unique,
right,
but everything's kind of the same.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so is this thing alive now? Okay.
Uncle Jay says he's glad we're playing this game.
Cool.
We're glad you're watching us play this game.
Yeah. Like to mix it up, man. We don't know what we're gonna play every day when we start EP. Well, we know just before, but there's a lot of different choices out there.
My Legs Hurt has a question. Vic and Blake, what games do you think are overrated or overhyped?
Overrated, overhyped.
This stream's not gonna be long enough for me to go into games that I think are overrated.
Well, you're not a huge Fallout 4 fan. Did you love Fallout 3?
We don't have time to get into Fallout. I loved Fallout 4. until it broke my heart.
Ah. There's Stu playing Octopath Traveler. Okay.
I don't know, what games do you think are overrated, Vic?
That's such a hard thing to... Like, I know there are some that I've definitely found... I mean, I guess I would say the like the Bloodborne and the Dark Souls games, for me personally, I find them to be overrated because they're so challenging that I can appreciate them, but they're not games that I stick with forever because they just...
That's a subjective thing.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it can only be subjective. I mean, I totally get why people love them, but they just... Not getting anywhere frustrates
you recognize...
me. I recognize the
you
beauty.
recognize that they're good games,
and they're
right?
excellent games.
And you recognize
Yes.
that if you are the type of person who's into that kind of thing,
Totally.
they're good. I think the question is like games that you take a step back from and say, regardless of my personal opinion, everyone thinks this is like a well-made, good game, and it's not.
What would I say?
It's tricky. I can think of movies, a whole bunch of movies right off the top of my head. The games, it's a little harder.
I mean, I have to look at a list of games, right? Like, that's I have like a million of them swirling in my head right now.
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
Do you want me to be controversial?
Sure, go for it.
I didn't care for The Last of Us.
Okay.
Or Uncharted 4. I don't think those are good games.
Uncharted
And I don't
4, I
mean-
would say, was a little overrated.
Yeah, and I don't mean
but
in a subjective sense. I mean like those are not good games.
I think I gave it an 8.5, and I think I would still stand by that. I think that was what my score was. I think it was in the 8s. Could have been an 8. But I agree with you on Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I don't think The Last of Us is a bad game, but Uncharted 4 was a bad game.
I don't think it's a bad game, but I think...
it's a really, really good interactive cutscene.
I think you're crazy to think that Last of Us is overrated, because that's an amazing game. And that's why I felt like Uncharted 4 was a little overrated.
But Uncharted 4 was not a game. It was an interactive cutscene.
No, it's a game.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's an interactive
lots
cutscene.
of great gameplay in
It's
that.
the best interactive cutscene of
lots of good combat, lots of
2016.
good scrambling. The multiplayer is super fun. It's a solid title, but the things that it does to kind of keep it at the T rating just sort of diminish its impact. Okay, so
I never felt like I was playing the game. I felt like the game was just guiding me along.
Hand-holding you?
Hand-holding me, yeah. Doy Owen is asking for my Fallout, who's asking? People are asking my Fallout 4 story.
Tell them the Fallout 4
Okay,
story.
so I played the game. I loved it. Was really into it. You know, I loved that game. And then about half an hour from the end, I got to a game-breaking glitch that I couldn't get around. It's like I had to open this one door in order to advance the mission, and every time I tried to open the door, it was on that big blimp thing that the Brotherhood of Steel has, and every time I tried to open this one door, which is the only door I could open to advance the mission, the game would crash.
Oh,
and I
so
tried
punishing.
so many different things. I tried going back to my previous save, which was about an hour before that. I tried doing other side missions to get around it. I couldn't finish the game.
When they patched it, you never tried it again?
No, because by the time they patched it, I had broken up with the game and I was done. I turned my back on it. Yeah, no. So I like if you asked me, and I said this at the time. This was on the Big Spaceman podcast. I said if I was going to rate this game, I would give it a 0 out of 10 because I can't play it. Like, what is a game that you can't play? It's a 0 out of 10.
Yes.
And it was even more heartbreaking because I loved the experience so much up to that point.
Games are, at this stage, living creations, though, and they evolve as the developers get more information about what's happening. They're also always plagued with bugs. Every game is.
But a game-breaking glitch, and also there was other technical problems with that, because I was playing it on the PS4, and it bugs me that Bethesda never stands by the PS4 versions of their games, or PS3 with Fallout 3. Like, they say, oh, well, that's not really our preferred version. Well, thanks, it's the same price as the 360 version.
Yes.
The Bethesda logo is right there on the box, just as prominently as the PS3 version.
I mean, that's a fantastic argument for us to move towards subscription-based gaming.
Yes,
you know? Like, there shouldn't be this disparity between versions of this software.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I don't accept.
But there
Bethesda's,
is, and we're not there yet.
That game was too glitchy. It should not have been that glitchy. There were so many. There was other glitchy problems that I was having throughout the game.
Uh-oh.
Despite the fact that I like.
All I can do is sing, and these guys are killing me. Like honestly, what happened there?
Bethesda should not have released that game in the state it was on.
Way to go, guys! You got them all fired up. Now I'm gonna hear about this all weekend. He's gonna be texting me, asking me for Todd Howard's phone number. I gotta talk to Todd.
Abby Jamin says, Blake, in my day, interactive cutscenes were pixelated and only on CD add-ons. I'm not that young. I mean, I played Mad Dog and Creed.
Come on! Come on! Oh, I see. I got it. This is the old Zelda, don't let the eye see you puzzle. Okay, here we go. So hide behind
someone
stuff.
is saying climb the trees to sing to the flying creatures.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Thank you, whoever has played this before. It's very...
That's F-Boys99.
F-Boys99. This is very, I'm not going to say obtuse, but it's an enigmatic game. Like, I don't know... It's hiding its secrets quite well. I don't know much about it.
It's trying to be too whimsical.
It's very mysterious. Okay, avoid these guys. So I'm doing a little Metal Gear Solid around the searchlights. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna go sing over here. Okay, cool. Here we go. And I'm somehow moving the controller, I think, and it's doing stuff.
A lot of people now are saying, yeah, they have the same glitchy problems with this. Bethesda should not get a free pass with this. They always do, and it bugs me.
Right.
They always have glitchy problems in the game, more so than other games, but a game that has that many glitches should not get a 10 out of 10.
As we explained and talked about during that time, look at the breadth of content in those games.
Sure.
They are going to be rife with problems.
They're great games, but they're all games that get 10 out of 10. A game with that many problems is not a perfect game.
Right.
It should not get a 10 out of 10.
Well, I think the bigger issue is
they should not get the universal acclim that they get.
The bigger issue is they're using sometimes dated engine tech.
Yeah. So why is it? Why do they get? Why? Because oh my God! It's the best game ever.
It's because it's all content, man, and people play those games for not days,
no other publisher
not
gets
months,
that.
But years.
No other game studio on the planet gets the space that Bethesda does.
That's not true. That's not
any
true.
other publisher released a game that glitchy.
If that game was like a Mass Effect Andromeda, which it isn't, it would have been hammered. But people definitely call them out on their issues, but they still deliver an incredible experience. Fallout's an amazing game. Fallout 4 was incredible.
Until I couldn't play it.
Right. I know it's personal. Well, I mean, I feel your pain because yesterday I was trying to play, after we talked about it on the stream, I was trying to play Uncharted. I did the, thank you for the tips on whatever I had to do my PlayStation 4 hard drive. I did that again, which I've done in the past, by the way. And it didn't make a difference. And I found out that I had to turn the internet off on my PS4 in order to play the Uncharted collection Drake's Fortune game. And then I could turn the internet back on once I had started the game, but with the internet connection on, as I was saving the game, it was doing something, and it was like, because it auto-saves just before you start, and it was crashing every single time, and it was driving me crazy. And so I tweeted at PlayStation, they need to update that. They need to do a new patch on that sucker. That's the definitive version of those Uncharted games right now. That there is no better version than the redo that Bluepoint did. So it should run flawlessly on every PS4.
Every game has problems to some extent.
Yes.
But my frustration with Bethesda is that, with Bethesda games in particular, and this is because I always play them on the PS4 or PS3.
Right. Yeah, they didn't do well on the PS3, did they?
It always feels like Bethesda games have way more problems than most games.
Gotcha.
And Bethesda has even said, yeah, we don't look at the PlayStation as our preferred console.
I'm going to go right stick.
But I don't accept that argument. Like, the game is on the PlayStation. They're selling it to me on the PlayStation.
Okay, it's Friday the 13th, man. It's a holiday today, right? It's a celebration.
It's a holiday.
Let's talk about happy things like Paddington 2. Who's going to see Paddington 2 this weekend?
Abby Jamison, Blake, you can't tell me seeing a mute. No, I loved Fallout 4. That's one of the reasons I was so frustrated, because I love the game so much.
I got a jewel. I got a little gem. How cool is that? I'm kissing it. Oh, I'm in a crazy world now. Oh, it's like a crystal ball. This is really cool.
My Legs Hurt has another big question for us, Vic. Do you
Okay.
guys think that games should stop pushing for photorealism and go more for stylized graphics to cut on production cost?
That's such a general concept.
I like the mix.
Yeah, like the best thing about video games is their out of nowhere surprise quality, right? Like we're doing a lot of the same mechanics. Take it from somebody that's been playing these things for a big chunk of my life and reviewing them for a big chunk of my life. The mechanics are very similar from game to game. What surprises us are the artistic design and the production design and the storytelling and those kinds of qualities that make the experiences different from one another. And I think that's what we want. I don't think we want to do any kind of big statements about going in one style or another, or one style's better than another. We need all the styles.
Yeah.
We need more styles.
It's the same with like platforming, 2D platforming games and 3D games.
Yeah.
It was like when 3D games came out, they were like, oh, well, I guess we don't make 2D platforming games
which was
anymore.
so silly,
which is
right?
silly. It's,
yeah.
it's a kind of game.
And there were developers that were suddenly put into a position of being obsolete, and probably a lot of them either got let off from their jobs or whatever, decided to quit and start their own thing, but they couldn't get their games published. There were the channels were very restricted. There was no Kickstarter or things like that.
There's no big indie game. Well, not like
there is today.
Yeah.
So
not like downloadable games.
If you think about it, some of the best 2D platforming was on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. And a lot of those developers did not make the leap into 3D. And so we got this chunk of time where we didn't get the best developers that wanted to stay in that sort of discipline, able to stay in that discipline, which is kind of heartbreaking. Now, they probably were able to kind of come back, or their games were influences to lots of indie titles and stuff out there. But yeah, I think anytime that the industry says this is the way to do it and they only go in that one direction, it ends up being a mistake. We need it all. There are fantastic 2D games now.
Definitely. Uncle Jay has a good Friday the 13th question.
Yep.
What is your favorite horror movie?
Ooh.
You're not a big horror guy, are you?
No, I don't like the sort of very obvious manipulation that's happening. I like the Insidious movies. Or at least the first one was pretty cool. You hated that?
Well, I'm thinking like The Exorcist.
Exorcist was great,
and
yeah.
Halloween and Night of the
Halloween,
Living Dead.
I didn't care about that.
And you're comparing it to Insidious.
Insidious was cool.
Compared to those movies, it's nothing.
Okay, yes.
The Exorcist and Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You know
and
what,
Psycho.
like,
those are some of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, but they're older, and so I saw them on videotape, and I'm not a horror guy that has a proclivity for that stuff. So it's not like, oh my God, this is so amazing because like I know everything about horror movies. It was just like, okay, yeah, it's not that scary. You can tell it's all makeup. And
well, it's not the scariness of it.
It's the
There's more to it
filmmaking.
than
Sure,
that.
yeah, I appreciate that. And I liked Shining, and I liked the James Caan and Kathy Bates movie where there's Misery was cool. I guess that's kind of a horror movie. I thought they did a pretty decent job with that It movie last year.
I can't like any Stephen King movies because I've read all the books, and the books are always way better. So it's like,
yeah. Oh, I gotta sing. Okay. That's a tough question. Hereditary was okay.
it's tricky with horror movies because you can get like the ones that have a good undertone message to them, like The Exorcist, or you can get ones like Night of the Living Dead, which also has a good social message, or you get ones like Halloween, which are just straightforward, but they're made so well. It's like they're so well crafted, it elevates it. So there are two kinds of horror. All the good horror movies are good for one of two reasons.
Yes, I want to hear what people have to say about horror movies. I'm sure there's some good ones in there.
The Omen.
Jason Voorhees versus Paddington Bear.
Thorazine says The Omen, The Shining, Evil Dead.
You know what? Nightmare on Elm Street was pretty phenomenal.
No.
The very first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, it was cheesy, but it was
cheeseball.
pretty freaking cool.
Thing is,
can I say Aliens? Can I say Alien or Aliens? Because those are the best horror movies. Alien more.
They're more science fiction.
Okay, but if you're asking me,
I'm just thinking because when I think like 80s horror movie, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th.
see, I would way rather watch Alien or Aliens or Predator. Those are like horrifying movies.
Yeah.
that are sci-fi. That is freaky as hell.
That's more of your thing.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
No, but it's like you said, Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's just whenever I think of that and all the 80s horror movies, I can't help but compare them to Halloween, and Halloween is just so much better.
I have to watch that again. I love John Carpenter.
The first Halloween is a very, very well-made film. It's not like transcendent or anything,
right,
but it's just so well crafted that it's just scary.
Alien is one of the best horror movies. I mean, honestly, if you're asking me what my favorite horror movie is, I'm gonna say Alien.
Yeah, I would put it on the list for sure. It's hard because I think of it more of a science fiction film, but yeah, I guess the first one is just a slasher movie in space.
So good. And it's just an amazing movie. So beautiful.
Spice World is a pretty scary movie.
Spice World, frightening.
Terrifying.
Frightening.
Dawn of the Dead was so good, yeah. Dawn of the Dead is one of the best movies ever made. I would put it up there with Star Wars and Lawrence of Arabia.
That's the George...
yeah, that's the one in the shopping mall. Not the Zack Snyder one.
Ryan, our buddy Ryan Ewell is jacked in here from Africa saying...
Oh, wow.
I think the next true revolution in gaming will be true AI. No more dialogue trees, no more pre-scripted programming. Yeah, that's happening, man. That's happening in reality.
Procedurally generated AI?
Yeah. I mean, if it's artificially intelligent, then it's not going to need to procedurally anything. It's going to be alive, pretty much, right?
But who's going to be playing the games? Robots?
I think that's what we're headed
to.
Yeah, robots making games for robots played by robots.
Awesome.
Yeah. Dude, I just read something on the internet. This is so horrifying. I want to talk about a horror movie. And it's from a passage in a book. I think it could have been an Arthur C. Clarke book. I'm not sure. Grey Goo. Grey Goo is the idea of nanotechnology, nanomachines being self-replicating.
Yep.
And replicating so quickly that within a week, so they're tiny little nano machines, like cellular level, maybe a little bit larger. Within a week, heavier than the Earth. And they just keep growing and growing and growing
but
and
where
growing
are they
from there.
Where are they getting the resources to replicate themselves?
Everything. They eat everything.
So they turn the world
Yes, they turn matter into them.
Okay.
And then they augment themselves and get more powerful.
This could be a remake of The Blob.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Blob?
But with nanotechnology.
Yeah, that's The Blob.
So terrifying.
This could be a remake for The Blob.
And then if you add artificial intelligence...
We should pitch this to whoever owns the Blob remake, right?
See, here's an issue with Faye. We are talking about other things and getting right into that.
Yeah, Darksiders, we were talking about the game the whole time.
Yeah, and not talking about this game. So there's a major design issue with that.
Yep.
It's too vague. It's too vague. Sometimes games need to explain a little more. I guess this would be way more fun. You're by yourself. You're looking at every single detail and you're trying to figure out. Like right now, I took the singing off of motion controls and just used the right thumbstick, but it also moves the camera, so that's confusing. Okay, so it starts to glow a little bit more green when it shouldn't move the camera.
What is moving the camera?
The right thumbstick. I'm trying to, because it's changing the pitch and it's supposed to be changing the way the song is going. I'm supposed to sing to this thing in a way. Oh, maybe I don't know the tune yet. Okay.
Ryan Ewell is saying he's in Rwanda.
Rwanda.
We should tell people who don't know who Ryan is.
Ryan used to work with us. He used to, I think he worked on everything we did,
yeah.
But he was also a big part of the lab with Leo.
He worked here, I think, a couple of years before I started working here?
Yep. Yeah. And then he has gone on a globe-trotting adventure and now works, I believe, in some kind of production capacity in Rwanda. And is still sort of in touch with people in North America all the time. I see him tweeting and sending messages out about working with some of the folks that he worked with on the lab with Leo.
He was the first editor who was cutting the rundown. When we first started doing the rundown
Amazing.
In 2008 when EP first went live.
Right.
He was the first editor to work on it.
Right, fantastic editor, and also did a great job on screen in the lab with Leo. Leo was always asking him questions and helping him out.
That's right, he hosted he was on in front of the camera.
Ewell's
right.
Jewels. Yeah. Great guy. Okay, I can't go underneath this thing. Okay, I'm stuck. See, I'm stuck again, and I don't know why. Faye is bumming me out. It's so empty, and I can't get up there.
It looks like it's very repetitive in the design.
I don't know what to do, and I can't get up there, and I don't know if I have to sing in a different way.
Oh, Thorazine just pointed out Candyman is underrated. Candyman is a fantastic film. It's one of those horror movies. It's about racism in the U.S.
Okay.
It's one of those horror movies. So horror, like sci-fi, you can use it as sort of a cover to take on heady social themes.
Sure.
Whereas if you did it in a regular movie, it might feel forced.
Oh, I have to do it with the bird. That's what I gotta do. Oh, that sounded dirty. Okay. There we go. Now it's gonna fly me above this thing, right?
This thing
if you are lost, sing with birds. They will show you where to go. Okay.
This thing you're playing as looks like a Toho monster. I think it's King Ghidorah.
Okay, that little tiny cute
or
plushy version
Gaios
of it.
Or something. the mouth looks like Gaios.
Okay, why didn't it do that before? I was here before.
Gaios.
Oh, and I take this and I throw it at the big circle monster globule thing. Okay.
Yeah, the character you're playing as looks like Gaios. This thing. See that? Looks like that.
Cool. Ryan,
everyone Google Gaios.
Tell the people what you're doing these days. This game is giving me a little of that Yoshi's Island baby crying vibe, Ryan Landis. Oh, okay, so now I can talk to this owl, and hopefully this owl will fly me into a better game. Let's go.
Well, you know what I always say about bad games, Vic?
What's that?
The best thing about a bad game is you can stop playing it.
That's true. That's true. I mean, it's got a cool look to it. I just don't know what the frack I'm doing half the time. We're supposed to do.
Oh, Thorazine has the answer. You're supposed to lick the booklet.
Ah, right.
Maybe he means look at the booklet. Is there even booklets? Don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, I got no booklet.
When was the last booklet used? That's a good question.
I don't know.
You could do the top 10 gaming booklets.
That's like a total Scott Jones segment. I should send him an email.
You have every game in your house.
Yeah, Scott, go ahead and do the top 10 gaming booklets, buddy. Actually, I think Chris Kohler's doing something like that right now with Kotaku.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
When did booklets stop being a thing?
I think pretty much last generation, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
I remember sitting there reading my booklets for the N64. Because the Star Fox 64 one had like the whole backstory and everything.
Oh, they were amazing.
It was like reading a book.
The Nintendo ones were state of the art. I mean, they were just wonderful. They were celebrations of the medium. They're missed for sure, but it also speaks to the just eating up resources to kind of fill an unnecessary need, you know?
Yeah, it's a waste of papers.
Yeah. Ryan, it'll be very interesting if GameStop gets sold or like moves away from games, because they are like now they're selling comic books and they're like if they become less of a player in games retail. I
want to say EB Games. I went into an EB Games a couple weeks ago, and I want to say at least half of the store was non-game related.
Yeah,
or
but
more.
if it ends up becoming even bigger than that, then like physical games they're close to it's close to the end for physical games. I really believe that. You know, I mean I don't necessarily want that, but it could mean some. Much better pricing and much more accessibility for more people to play, and eventually better games. Some cool new distribution models.
Money to the publishers too, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it could. I mean, a lot of changes are coming for sure.
Ryan, your battery's almost dead still.
Oh yeah, well it's because we're eating up the battery as we're
using up more juice than we're giving it.
Yeah.
Ryan Ewell is saying he has a kid now.
Oh my God! No, I did not. Congratulations.
He has a daughter, 14 months old.
14 months. Amazing.
Did I read that right? Is it a daughter?
That's wonderful, Ryan. Congratulations.
Yes, she's 14 months old.
Wow. Is that on your Facebook page? I want to take a look at your daughter, dude.
I don't know how to use Facebook.
That's so great.
Jordan Cunningham says Nicholas still has booklets in their games.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, how many people actually buy like Binding of Isaac physically?
Yeah, those are
probably 90% of the people who
limited run games, kind of.
They download those kind of games.
And I think like records are back in a way. You know, like I feel like there will always be an artistic appreciation for that kind of stuff.
I think it's going to become a situation where the physical media will still exist as a boutique thing, and it'll only be like you'll only ever buy a physical copy if it's something you really like. For most people,
and you'll have to pay through the nose, probably.
Yeah, it'll be like I mean, there'll always be people with money who will just buy everything. But like most people will look at it like, okay, I really like this movie, so I'll buy this movie, or I really like this game.
Guys, I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on. Like they're beating up this old triangle guy. They put him into a thing. Okay. I don't know what's happening. Don't get seen by the big bosses, or maybe I can shoot a
Ryan's message on Facebook Network.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Oh.
What was the last physical game I bought? I don't even know. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. It is pretty cool to celebrate the collection of something that's wonderful like Breath of the Wild with a physical release, for sure. I see the value in it. 100%.
I actually bought Breath of the Wild twice physically. I bought the original good game, and then I bought... No, on the Switch.
Yeah.
And I gave that to someone.
Oh,
and then
okay.
I got the like Explorer edition that came out like 6 months after that had a new booklet with it.
Yeah.
So I had a nice like thing I could put on my shelf.
I'm done with Faye. That's it.
Let's be done with Faye.
Yeah, it's
Friday. Let's get out of here.
It's not blowing me away. It's Friday. The weekend is about to begin. We'll have a brand new classic episode of Electric Playground up tomorrow, but thank you.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
This game, from what I've seen so far, hasn't really impressed me all that much. I'll keep checking it out, though, but it's not high on my pecking order. Octopath Traveler, a bunch of other ones are sort of slotted in right now, but I was curious about that. I hope you got a little bit of something from checking out the game. I think it's going to be a lot better if you're not streaming it and you're paying attention to just the game itself. But thank you, Adrian Leon, Ryan Landis, Sam I Am, Patrick Furtado, Jordan Cunningham, Ryan Ewell, Paul Adamson, Blade Blur, Swangore. Amazing to see everybody here today. Thank you all so much for your support today and this week, and we'll be back again next week. Monday, we are going to be just doing a regular rundown, not doing EP Live, but come back for that anyways. And, of course, we've got lots of new content that's going up all the time. Check it out. If you dig it, hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend and play forever.